So first of all, I would like to thank the European Internet Foundation for this invitation and to have this theme on its agenda. We are here today to explore the state of play in the European Union for inclusion in information society. And I'm delighted to have the chance to present a further vision for the implementation of an observatory on vulnerable people. So vulnerable people as defined by the Tunis agenda that was adopted in the World Summit of the Information Society. This idea of this observatory at EU level come up from a simple workshop held during the IGF in Bali in October 2013, and it was reconfirmed during the IGF in Istanbul in 2014. So, and I would like to express a special thanks to the MEP Julie Ward, and because we shared this idea during with the European Parliament in a small meeting shared by MEP Paul Rubik on 16 September last year, and she immediately showed interest to discuss how could this idea benefit Europe and to be potentially presented in the future as a best practice at worldwide level. So I'm basically here to explore how this idea could be implemented. In Portugal, we pay particular attention to vulnerable people with regard to information society, with particular emphasis to people with special needs, disabilities, elderly people, for quite some time. We set up what we call Unit Access, which works on the theme since 1999. And therefore, I'm here to share with you our expertise for further implementation of such observatory, as we consider it an interesting tool to Europe as a whole and to make the digital single market a success. So digital inclusion is a key element for digital economy and to make the digital single market a reality. We can be tremendously digital, but without enough people empowered and able to use it, well, it becomes really useless. So I'm here today to try to make this idea a reality, or to share with you this idea. And I'm aware that to do it, it is very important to bring on board different stakeholders, but key stakeholders, as it is the case with the European Economic and Social Committee and the European Parliament. Now we have to discuss how much do we need this kind of initiative at EU level, its objectives, to map existing initiatives and mechanisms to be used. It could be potentially be developed at the beginning as a virtual multi-stakeholder EU network, but the key point here is who could host this multi-stakeholder network. The observatory could become a hub for best practices and current trends for the better inclusion of vulnerable people in the information society. Well, if I may, I would like to kind of ask you to pay particular attention to people with disabilities and the current discussion on the directive proposal of the European Parliament and of the EU Council on the accessibility of public sector bodies' websites, where Portugal is the single country that is supporting the proposal to make it more ambitious. And we are aware of European Parliament efforts on this field, but it is very unfortunate that at the Council, we are alone. So the observatory could become a hub as well for enabling the development of innovative solutions in the multi-stakeholder format and so framework. It could be a hub for outreach activities for further expansion and to have multiplier effect. It could be a hub for empowered different actors in the field and to improve the capacity building on this area. And a hub again for research and analysis to assess the current situation. And so to make the multi-stakeholder dialogue in Europe a reality on this area, and to have an exchange, a very good exchange of best practices with actors outside the European Union. This could be interest to make Europe a leader on these fields and not a follower. To sum up, what I think we envisage here is to facilitate the participation of vulnerable people in decision-making processes in the field of the information society in Europe, to propose mechanisms for better participation of vulnerable people in this information society based on the multi-stakeholder consultations, to gather information, observe, analyze the needs of the target group, and to propose solutions for their better inclusion in the economic and public life in EU countries with the help of the information and communication technologies, and to improve accessibility and access to information, to ICT infrastructure, and to public services for disadvantaged groups in a safe and multilingual digital environment in the EU countries. And the European Internet Forum seems to be the right place to discuss this initiative, I hope. Let me stress that it's not really a Portuguese movement, not at all. So, because in Portugal we are really aware of this reality, and we are doing a lot, as I said, since at least 1999. The point here is that in Bali during the IGF, this idea came up, and I said, why not? So we have really to do something in Europe and become leaders of something, and so why not on this area? Thank you.